forth and round one in. Gonna find that king and flying around. Put my ball in the pocket and knock them all down. Gonna drink it up. Let's rock them up. Gonna drink it up. Let's clean them up. Get ready to bowl now. Strike out today. Get ready to bowl. Strike out today.
Yes, we've returned to the city on the Illinois River called Peoria. We've come to Landmark Recreation Center, 14th year, the 12th consecutive year that the True Value Championship has been contested here, a total of $210,000. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. Delighted you joined us in our live telecast from this Illinois city. 12th consecutive True Value Championship. We always have a good winner, and we have a great field, so let's meet the four finalists right now. In the number 4 position in the first match, 4-time champion Tony Westlake of Edmond, Oklahoma. His opponent will be a 21-time champion Mike Aulby of Indianapolis. The winner of that game will meet Norm Duke of Edmond, Oklahoma. Our tournament leader is 3-time champion John Mazza of Mount Clemens, Michigan. And of course, our tournament winner will take on Ron Williams and try to become the king of the hill. And Ron's been tough, right, Nelson Burton Jr.?
You're right, Chris, and you said it. The Peoria and the True Value have always been some of the highest scoring lanes we've had on the PBA Tour. 1993 is no exception. Our quartet today averaged a fabulous 253 on the championship pair this week. Mike Aulby is back, and he won in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. He has to be the favorite. And, of course, the story runs to Ron Williams. 4th consecutive time he's trying to stay at top of the King of the Hill. He's our leading money winner with $64,300, Chris. Also the bonus of $200,000 for a perfect game this week, and a lot of other money at stake.
That's right, $42,000 as we have the handshake of the two opponents here in our first game, Mike Aulby and Tony Westlake. Capacity, standing room only crowd in one of the multi-faceted recreation centers anywhere, Landmark. On the left lane, one of the two left-handers in our field of 4, Mike Aulby. Oh, yes. Mike's with it, and so's the crowd, Bo.
Well, that helps the player, Chris. When the crowd gets into it and strikes, keeps the crowd in it. And that's what we expect a lot of today. Just fabulous bowling all week long, and these players can strike on this pair.
And they're cheering before the ball gets to the pocket. And here we are, perfect as we replay it.
Tony Westlake with just an ideal style. Look at that head in perfect position. Gets to the top of the swing, just shoulder high. Look at his feet, pointing straight through. This is his pivot step. He's going to drive on through, slide at the line. You see he's playing that extreme inside line that's favored the players this week. Solid in the pocket.
3rd in the AC Delco Classic, and now the 4, 6, 7. Oh, what do we do here, punt?
Well, we've seen this split quite a few times, Chris, and what we have to do is really just get the ball over in the 4-7 zone. Tony is a very sharp player. He'll get it over here, just take these 2, and if it happens to bounce out and take out the 6, that'll be fine. But the left lane hooks a little more. Tony made a bad shot.
All right, open frame after a strike. Defending champion here, Bruce Hamilton, finished 31st. Mike Aulby, who's up next, finished 3rd in the field. As Bo had mentioned, he picked up his 21st win in Las Vegas. Bo, I've given away $100,000 for a perfect game, but I've never given away $200,000. I'm all for it today.
You bet. And here's the style of Aulby, just solid. A good push away, just a little bit above the shoulder with his arm swing. And once again, here's the key, and I try to tell all the amateurs, look at those feet driving straight through the target line and that deep inside line right around the 4th arrow. Aulby off to a quick lead, 22 pins, perfect through 2 frames.
Make it 3 in a row. The PBA president, Mike Aulby.
The grip of Tony Westlake. He tucks that pinky finger in next to the index finger. Solid grip. He stays right behind the ball, lifts straight through.
That's bouncing back. Nice going, Tony. Tony's a frequent challenge match player, and he explains exactly what it is.
Well, it gets you used to getting up in the 10th frame when you need a strike. You're not afraid to get up and get it. You always have a lot of confidence, and you feel like you own the lanes when you get up there, and it makes it a lot easier when you need a strike.
And he is one of the best clutch players in all of bowling.
He's also great on a pool table. Believe me, pocket billiards. Yes, Peoria is enriched by organizations like the Marvin Halt Center, shown here, established in '88 to promote healthy lifestyles through preventative education and personal decision making. Hats off to them.
What? Look, time is money, and I don't have time for plain flakes. Please, put something in here, will you, for Pete's sake? Maybe jelly. What? All right, I'll give it a shot. Tastes good. Good. Good and crunchy. It tastes good just the way it is. No frills, no nothing.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
What?
Hi, Pat Summerall here at True Value, where the main attraction is personal service. Or is it low prices? Well, let's find out.
They do have sales, and you can tell it's a sale price. It's not just a few pennies. It's a real sale.
I like their quality and their service.
You look for that one star and you trust it, and that's where you go.
For personal service and low prices, bring your family to ours, the True Value family of stores.
Everything I needed to move into my new house, I bought right here.
The True Value Open is underway. Nearing the halfway point of the first match, Mike Aulby with 3 in a row. Leads by 22, can up at 10 more. Fourth frame. Mike Aulby, president of the PBA, is very busy off the lanes these days.
Well, I'm very honored to be the Goodwill Ambassador for the IOF Foresters Bowling for Miracles program, which benefits the Children's Miracle Network. And we're also proud to have it as the official charity of the PBA, the Children's Miracle Network.
And they will be one of our stops, Chris, on the PBA Tour, Toronto, Canada, the week before the Firestone.
As so often happens, reality setting in, but 7-10s, they have been converted, however.
Right, Chris. John Mazza, our tournament leader, converted in Sunrise 2 years ago. However, Aulby doesn't have to throw the ball speed to convert the 7-10. He'll just throw a straight shot at the 7-pin, take his bad frame, and walk away.
So now each professional with an open frame. The lead has been cut to 18, and Tony Westlake with a strike here can cut it to 8 pins. Challenge match player, huh?
You bet, Chris. And he's kind of hard to read. Nobody likes to bowl against Tony Westlake. He's one of the guys you kind of want to stay away from, because you know he can go to the 10th frame and strike. He's proven it in match play competition and out here on the tour. Pretty standard player. He's very versatile, doesn't throw the big hook. He's going to start around the center, drift in this area, right around the 3rd arrow. He has a good solid lift underneath the bowling ball, and he can get to lead with a strike here.
All 5 feet 6 inches of him, 175 pounds, 33-year-old Tony Westlake. 32 years old, 5'8", 160. Here's the grip of Mike Aulby.
Aulby just in tight, keeps those fingers in tight. That allows him to spin the ball a little bit more and get the strong finish on the back end.
After an open, a comeback. We're watching great bowling here in our first match, Bo.
Well, you're right, Chris, and you really can't win without strikes here at the True Value. The strikes have all been either strike or open. Aulby, you'll see, being the left-handed player, will also be playing the deep inside line, staying to the extreme right. He'll drift over here, almost where a right-hander would slide, and he'll be right around the 4th arrow. Watch Aulby, a very disciplined player, very aggressive.
8. We're in Peoria, Illinois. Horse breeding, you know, has its place here, too. We'll show you a rare breed of coach horses, originally from the Netherlands, called Gelder Landers.
You're about to see the power of subliminal advertising. Now, can you name bowling's hookingest and bashingest ball? It's the Rhino Pro line in several distinctive urethane formulations to improve any game. Only at your local pro shop.
Alan Spindle is one of the many people slowly waking up to the fact that only toast is the eye-opener.
Why do I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus over the leading cold pill?
They only relieve congestion, but Alka-Seltzer Plus is so tough it relieves sore throats, sneezing, headaches, even body aches.
That's why I choose Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. It's tough medicine.
He's one of the hottest young names in boxing. Now see Olympic gold medalist Oscar De La Hoya in action live. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Boxing on Wide World of Sports. Bowling right here, live, Peoria, on the right lane with 4 in a row. 7th frame. So he regains the lead by 2. Here's a many-time champion, all-time leading money winner on the approach, Marshall Holman.
Thank you, Chris. Chris, we're here with Norm Duke. Norm, the lefties have been bowling very, very good this year, except for the 7-10. Mike's been perfect. What do you think your chances are if you bowl against Mike?
Well, he better bring a strike ball, because it's going to take a lot of them. Spares it for sissies today. A lot at stake.
All right. Thanks a lot, Norm. Good luck to you.
Marshall Holman, one of the really true champions. Great golfer as well.
And I like Norm Duke. He doesn't lack for confidence, Chris Schenkel, but he nailed it right on the head. You must throw strikes. Give the pro bowlers an ideal lane condition, and it's just a rare bird if they happen to miss. Nobody's missed the pocket yet except Westlake in the 2nd.
Aulby and Westlake. Hoosier and a Sooner going head-to-head.
Both players using reactive resin bowling balls. We've seen a lot more strikes this year since the manufacturers have come out with that type of ball. It finishes a little more at the back end. Right now, the possibilities for Aulby, 266. Westlake, a possible 268.
Beautiful form from the left side, Mike Aulby.
Westlake has to respond to the strikes of Aulby right here.
Jab and throw the right cross. This is a great match.
Heavyweights. Scoreboard tells the story. Right now, Aulby in arrears by 2 pins. He can do nothing about winning if Westlake throws 2 strikes and 9. It's all Tony Westlake. I'd say as good a clutch player as we have on the tour, standing right there in the 10th.
Last win for Tony was in Green Bay, Wisconsin in 1991, 3rd at the AC Delco this year. And there you see the X's.
Tony Westlake took the Hartford Open, which is now the Tums Open, 1988, with strikes, as Aulby contemplates what he must do. Westlake took that tournament with 4 strikes in a row, finishing and winning the tournament. If Westlake doesn't strike, Aulby has a chance.
A 10-pin on the left lane, Bo.
Chris, Tony Westlake converts the spare. It'll be 257. He forces Mike Aulby to get 2 strikes and a count.
.257 for Tony Westlake, 8 in a row, and then a 10-pin.
Mike Aulby must strike on the next 2 balls.
Baseball cards and bowling balls. Mike's hobby. Plus being maybe America's #1 hockey fan.
Right now, Aulby needs 1 strike and 2 pins to go on and meet Norm Duke. I'll be surprised if he doesn't put it in the pocket. And I'm surprised, Chris. He sent it wide. Tony Westlake wins.
Wins by performance and just sitting and watching.
Great opening match. Aulby's going to finish with 250 plus. Looks like 253. Not enough against Westlake with 257.
Okay.
Aulby sends it 2 wide. Doesn't finish quite enough. He didn't get the wrist action necessary to make the ball flip back. Leaves the 3, 6, 9. Not enough. Goes to defeat. Westlake wins the first match. 257, 253, Chris. I think that's just a forerunner of what's coming up.
ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Now people are feeling shower fresh in a surprising new way.
Shower to shower each day. Don't keep odor away.
Introducing Shower to Shower Antiperspirant.
Shower to shower each day. Don't keep wetness away.
We've combined the most effective anti-wetness ingredient with cornstarch to keep you feeling fresh and dry all day.
Shower freshness over the day.
New Shower to Shower Antiperspirant.
I feel Danorex tingling on this side, nothing on the head and shoulder side. I love that tingle, so I tried Danorex for my dandruff. It really came through. The flaking stopped, my scalp doesn't itch.
Danorex with conditioner is the serious dandruff shampoo.
I've switched to Danorex.
Athlete's Foot. Every year, over 28 million Americans get it. Try NP27. Its doctor-recommended ingredient stops burning and itching fast. NP27. Nothing's a better cure for athlete's foot.
Tonight, what was your favorite TV moment? Was it Rhoda's wedding, young Michael Jackson, the Kennedy assassination, the Thornbirds? A 2-hour special of great television moments tonight.
Win with the Lilac.
The Lilac City Tournament in Rochester, New York is paying out $1 million this year.
Join us as we celebrate our 25th year.
Enter the high-paying men's team event,
the women's team event,
and the mixed team event.
Win with the Lilac.
There's 18 great events
with doubles, singles, and 4 new super singles events. We plan to pay out $1 million.
Call 1-800-36-LILAC now.
Win with the Lilac.
What could possibly make this country oven crab cake any better? Serve it with prime rib. Crab cake and prime rib. What a combination. What could possibly make a country oven crab cake any better? A flame-grilled swordfish. Crab cake combos. What a combination.
It's Chocolate Lovers Month at the Country Oven, featuring the most chocolatey chocolate desserts. Be tempted at the Country Oven.
A 9-year-old's testimony, truth or lie, on the next Maury.
The Professional Bowlers Tour, brought to you by True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And by Calcium-Rich Tums. Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium.
This crowd in Peoria saw Tony Westlake Tremendous performance, 257 to Mike Aulby's nearly equal performance, 253, each with 9 strikes. Westlake will go into the next match against Norman Duke, Bo.
Chris, I think it's going to be this way all day long, and 253 average for all 4 to get here. They've started off terrific. I think Westlake's going to be very tough to beat. Duke is going to really be a tough opponent. However, Marshall Holman down on the approach has a wonderful guy in Mike Aulby. Mike?
Mike, that was a magnificent game, 253, and didn't quite get the job done. What were your feelings going into that second shot in the 10th?
Well, I was just trying to settle myself down a little bit, make a good shot. A little fast with the feet, and didn't catch the enough fingers in it to get it back. But just hoped for a break, got a chance to win, and couldn't do it.
Well, I've been there before, and I've come up short, and I've been there. But I'll tell you, it was magnificent. Congratulations on a great start to 1993.
Thanks, Marshall. See you next week.
All righty.
So it's $10,000 for Mike Aulby. And, you know, here at Landmark Recreation Center, which has been the host site for a long time, 12 years, it's more than a bowling establishment, as Robert Lawrence of Austin, Texas found out. I wonder if he even caught his breath. Watch Robert Lawrence.
Did you say you wanted a crew cut?
So Robert Lawrence had a great time, and it wasn't just bowling, was it? By the way, the haircut was not a butch. Okay, Tony Westlake shooting that 257, where he had 8 in a row. First up against Norm Duke, second game.
Boy, oh boy, Chris, the left-hand lane almost was his undoing against the first match against Mike Aulby, and here he goes right through the middle, start the match against Norm Duke, and that's a bad start. All he can do is get the ball over in the 6-10 zone, hopefully slide the 6 over in the 4, but he's going to make sure he gets the 2 pins.
Now we get to meet Norm Duke today, first time today, 5'5", 123 pounds, 28 years old. First time bowling with a mustache.
First real tap of the day. Duke starts off real well, and he had classic matches last night. We have a 42-game format last night. As you see the style of Norm Duke, he back step to get started. He has a 6-step delivery. It's a lot of momentum, but look at how steady that head is and eyes, just riveted on a target. And I like his wrist, nice and flat here. Everything straight towards the target.
Stuck a little bit at the line, so we'll keep our eye for that.
These players have met in many challenge matches, many times in the regional matches, and last night, and as we said, we had a 42-game format for this whole week. They had 8 games left. 2 matches they met last night, won both by Duke, 248. He beat Westlake, and then the final match, 276 to 258. So Duke has Westlake's number, and he's off to a quick start.
Norm Duke next Saturday on ABC Sports. The world's top bowlers make a stop under the arch in St. Louis. The inaugural $250,000 PBA Hall of Fame Championship. Pins will drop at 3:30 Eastern Pacific, 2 Central. Just like that. Great shot by Tony Westlake. True Value Open here in Peoria.
key to Westlake, obviously, is the left-hand lane. He's 6 for 6 on the right-hand lane. It's his ability to strike on that lane that allowed him to win the first match. He got 1 strike in the 10th in the clutch to win the match against Aulby. As you see, the grip of Tony Westlake spreads that index finger, and watch his swing throughout the delivery. He keeps his hand right behind the ball.
Last year, Tony was 4th at the Firestone. He has been 2nd twice in that great event in 88 and 90. He'll be breaking through one of these years. 4 PBA championships. Norm Duke has 3. Won his first in 83 at 18 years of age and then didn't win again until 91.
Momentum step of Norm Duke. Takes all 16 feet of the approach. Now watch how he gets going. He jockeys there. He moves the left foot back. Now 6 steps for momentum.
Norm Duke has an explanation for why he started this year's tour 1 month late.
Well, I had so much going on in December that when I finished and the tour started, I just wasn't ready to bowl. I hadn't been practicing. I wasn't sharp. Wasn't mentally prepared. Got married, had a lot going on. So I took 3 weeks off. I'm fresh. Everybody else is a little tired. I think it makes a difference.
Okay, he married Karen Roberts January 2nd. Broke up that split, fortunately.
Well, we saw the 7-10 split for Mike Aulby on this lane in the first match. Norm Duke goes wide, and when the ball breaks a little bit too late here at Landmark, now watch the break of the ball. It goes a little bit too far down the lane. He'll hit the 1-3, tap the 5 over in front of the 7. The 6 takes out the 10. When it breaks late, you have a possibility of a 7-10 split. Solid pocket is a good place.
Norm Duke, 3rd here in 1990 in an event that was won by Robert Lawrence, that you just saw on videotape. We'll be back.
Hey, Willard Scott here, talking with the good folks who shop at True Value. The question, is it the personal service or the low prices?
Large selection, low prices, good quality merchandise that they do carry.
You go in the big chain stores and you try to find somebody to answer a question for you.
The value is good, the selection is great.
For personal service and low prices, bring your family to ours, the True Value family of stores.
Yes, it's definitely a personal touch here.
I just love raisins in cereal.
I'm afraid you don't.
If I say I like raisins, I do.
No, I really don't think so.
Yeah, well, what do you call this, pal?
Not this.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran?
Hey, if you really loved raisins, you'd be eating Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
So, you really think you got something here, eh, buddy?
2 scoops of our sweetest, plumpest, juiciest raisins.
What was I thinking?
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. If you love raisins, this is your cereal.
No, there's 2 scoops, eh, Duke?
Bowling's big names are out to take aim at their Hall of Fame in a really big game. I'm not to blame that this rhyme is so lame, but if you don't tune in, then shame, 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 shame.
You're looking at Tony Westlake. Won the first match 257 to Aulby's 253. He has made the match even. The second, as his opponent now, is Norm Duke, originally from Fort Worth. Okay, Marshall.
Thank you, Chris. John, it's been a while since you bowled for the title in a match. You took a little time off. You're back from retirement. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Marsh. I feel good. The greatest thing happened to me October 13th. I watched the birth of my son, and it's changed my life. I get chills thinking about it. I'm ready to bowl.
All right. Good luck to you, partner.
All right, son Anthony.
And he'll need some inspiration against these 2 tough players. Both of them solid veterans, know how to win, can play all the angles, make all the moves, and they usually do not beat themselves. Right now, Norm Duke trails by 10, 5th frame. Duke's the first player to get any taps. I mean, solid taps. He's left a solid 10 pin on the right-hand lane in the first frame and a solid 10 here in the 5th. Now, the ball goes down right around the 4th there, or between the 3rd and 4th there. I went a little wide there, and then breaks. And what happens is he doesn't quite get the 6 to flip out the 10.
All right. young man that led the tour in 1991 with 9 television appearances, winning 3.
And he was the #1 average that year, Chris. A solid competitor. Steady every year. Now look at the deep inside line he's playing. He's actually going to walk left out of that. His target is going to be in this zone. Now watch this shot.
Cheering of the Duke fans in the crowd. You hear him give it to the Duke. John Mazza, whom Marshall Holman just talked to, is staying loose. Hear the pinfall of his practice shots. Westlake had 4 in a row, Nelson.
And has not missed on the right-hand lane, and here he leaves a 5-7 split, and you saw him react to it, threw the ball a little bit harder, and he could have got a better break out of that. All he needs to do now is get the ball to the right of the 5-pin, slide into the 7. From this deep inside line, it's a very possible shot. Move 3 boards left with your feet on the approach, a little extra speed, and let the ball slide back into the 5. Let's see what happens.
Let's replay that, baby.
For a player of his ability, he'll make this more than 50% of the time, and right when he needs it, he makes the 5-7 to stay right in the match and lead by 9.
Tony Westlake and Mike Aulby, a total of 18 strikes in our first game, 257, 253. Never playing pocket billiards, believe me. We'll be back with more after this.
They ate the same things, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Original Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. These 2 use aluminum and magnesium. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
For heartburn plus gas, Tums makes an anti-gas antacid too.
All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want 2 things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
He's one of the hottest young names in boxing. Now see Olympic gold medalist Oscar De La Hoya in action live. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
You're looking at the King of the Hill, Ron Williams, who will defend it against the winner of the True Value Open. Game and a half away from that as we're in our second game. Norm Duke and Tony Westlake going head-to-head in a typical Texas-Oklahoma struggle.
Duke can take the lead with a strike.
Both are now bowling out of Edmond, Oklahoma, but Norm is a native of Fort Worth.
2 Southern boys that have played a lot of match game, and Chris, I'll bet you they bowled each other 40 or 50 times for some pretty solid stakes, and they know each other, and I'm sure one of them has a little more confidence than the other, although they show no chinks in their armor as they come down to the last 3 frames, Duke leading by just 1 pin.
These 2 so close in everything. Norm Duke is 27th television appearance. Tony Westlake is 28th.
Watch this reaction. It's a little bit for himself, a little bit for a crowd, but it's meant a lot for Tony Westlake. Can he get this right into Westlake's face? Can Westlake answer right here?
Husky 4.
Did Duke get to him a little bit? That's the first shot that's been high by Westlake on this lane. Ball drifts high, almost leaves the 4-10 split. The 6 will bump out the 10. And doesn't quite trip out the 4-pin. He's in trouble. And the reason I say trouble is because if we saw in the first match 257, 253, and Norm Duke said in his interview with Marshall Holman, spares will not win the matches today. Right now, Norm Duke, a little bit nervous, has an 11-pin lead sitting on the bench. Tony Westlake must set it up for the 10th. Pivotal 9th frame. Westlake going at a 2:16 pace, Duke 2:28. I don't expect Duke to give in at all, so Westlake in trouble, but Duke still has to perform.
Okay, Duke is back up, using the full approach and way to the left, leaning against the approach. ABC Sports races in with the World Alpine Skiing Championships. Then on Pizza Hut, college basketball, many of you will see one of the top contenders for the national crown, Kansas, battle Big 8 rival Nebraska. Or in regional action, Cal takes on Arizona, Wake Forest travels to Temple, or LSU meets Texas. It's all tomorrow. ABC Sports.
Norm Duke, coming up the 10th frame, needs a mark of any type to lock up the match and go against John Mazza for the True Value title. Strike or spare, he's the winner.
This crowd is truly enjoying the professionals in action here at Landmark.
Duke possible 258. Tony Westlake has bowled well all week, but he'll have to settle for third.
Third money is $13,000. Duke step closer to $42,000 or 22 as a runner-up.
Something to watch in both of these players. They'll return. Duke going on for the title, Westlake will return, is how simple their styles are. Nothing fancy. They wait for that ball, they're on balance, and then straight arm swings.
Just like a True Value hammer. Oh. Hammering in how many in the final? There's 7 in a row. 258.
The 7th frame was consequential for Tony Westlake. He left the 5-7 split and converted it. Normally that's okay to get a split and convert, but not in this high-scoring environment. That was really his undoing. He'll be at 216 and way short.
After rolling a 257 in his victory over Mike Aulby's 253. Nervously pacing and waiting is a usually nervous John Mazza. All right, 258, 216. Choice Hotels International Tip of the Week. This week, Choice Hotels International's Tip of the Week features Judy Sutar on lifting the ball.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip, sponsored by Choice Hotels International. Here's bowling great Dick Weber.
With me today is Women's International Bowling Congress Hall of Famer and 2-time Bowler of the Year, Judy Sutar. Judy, what is one of the problems that has developed as you've gotten older?
Well, I found that I lost a lot of strength and stamina and was dropping the ball behind the foul line. So I take a towel like this, place it at the foul line, take my normal approach, and concentrate on lifting the ball out over the foul line.
So according to Judy, as you get older, in order to compensate for a loss of strength, Simply develop a practice aid like the towel to strengthen your game and provide more continued enjoyment. Remember, winning never gets old.
Look for more ABC Sports Winning Never Gets Old bowling tips, sponsored by Choice Hotels International.
There are gut balls and gutter balls, and sometimes the trophy falls. But no matter what, you'll love the bowlers who have it all on ABC Sports Home Video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR to order bowling's colorful history, narrated by Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. This collector's home video can be yours to enjoy for only $14.98 plus $3.95 shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE, and you can save 30% at Choice Hotels like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at any of the 7 brands in the Choice Hotels family.
Hey, Willard Scott here at True Value with my friend Pat Summerall.
And we're asking shoppers what they like best about True Value. Is it personal service?
Or low prices?
True Value is much better quality, much better prices even than discount prices.
They always greet you at the door.
And, and the prices are good?
Oh, yeah.
I like it for the price and the values that's here.
For personal service
and low prices, bring your family to ours.
The True Value family of stores.
You look for that one store and you trust it, and that's where you go.
Ninjas do 2 things very well. They react and they attack. Nothing blows them away like a ninja. The AMF Ninja, available today.
Here's a summary of the True Value Open. In the first game, 18 total strikes. What a victory for Tony Westlake over tough Mike Aulby. Then Norm Duke steps in. Defeats Westlake 258-216, also with 9 strikes. And that means that our tournament leader, John Mazza, from the state of Michigan, goes against Duke. Then, of course, this is the man that represents True Value here with great style, Gary Coppinger, advertising manager, and we look forward to seeing him every year.
Do a great job, don't they, Chris?
Sure.
And this has been a solid tournament with 160 players. 220 average to make the top 24. We've had great scoring all year long. The True Value, no exception. Now let's look at some of the other finishers. Here's Mike Edwards, who is solid in the tournament all the way. See him in 5th place. The Rock, 6th. Mark Thayer, steady year. Ron Palumbi, as usual. Mr. Entertainment, Chris Warren in 12th. Tommy Kreitz off to a great year. The Bowler of the Year 2 years ago, Ozio, Brian Voss. Billy Spigner, a cameo appearance. Bob Benoit working on that arm swing, coming back. Billy Yinger, 24th, and Michael Hatcher, 25th. Yinger had to replace Hatcher, who had an injury with 1 game to go. And Chris, that rounds out the top 25.
And 1 week from today, we'll be ready for the finals of the PBA Hall of Fame Championship and the Salute to Champions dinner on Saturday night. That's in Richmond Heights, Missouri. Look at the prize money, $250. Next week, the Cleveland Open in Parma Heights, $135,000 at stake. So here in Peoria, Illinois, for the True Value Championship, 1 game head-to-head. Norm Duke goes against tournament leader John Mazza.
Norm Duke gave John Mazza the evil eye right there as they shook hands. He's all business. $20,000 difference in 1 game. Here we go.
5'5", 123. 5'9", 155. 28-year-old John Mazza. Left-hander.
Tournament leaders have been 3 wins, 1 loss so far in the 1993 season. Mazza with a just nice, solid style, has added power to his game in the last 2 years. And where he added the power was up in this area. He opens that arm swing up and drives straight through. He's playing the inside line, right about where we saw Aulby playing, and gets a bad break, a solid second.
John Mazza. Pinfall you hear there is from our King of the Hill champion, Ron Williams, who will meet the winner of this match. John Mazza's wife, Leslie, mother of 14-week-old Anthony. A little tense. John Mazza, not though. He was waving to the crowd off to the left. Great appreciation to be back on tour. Here's Duke. And he's tough. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports Olympic gold medalist Oscar De La Hoya will be boxing live. That's right. Plus, we'll talk with world heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe as he prepares for his first title defense, and coverage of the World Alpine Skiing Championships begins. Also, comedian Gilbert Gottfried will guest host skiing's greatest calls and falls that have appeared over the years on ABC Sports. It's Wide World next.
Duke wide with that shot. It doesn't get the love tap of the 6 into the 10. He knows he went wide, and he was very confident. I think he was thinking about the 300 game, even though it's the early going. Watch the second pin on the right-hand part of your screen. It just doesn't quite do the job. Almost. Watch his technique at the 10 pin. The big hook at the first shot and a nice flat straight ball at the 10.
All right. The double for Mazza. John's wife, Leslie, tells us why John left the tour for more than a year.
Well, John needed a little break after 10 years on the tour, and he decided to go home. And Max Adani, a good friend of his who works at Burning Tree Golf Course as a head professional there, offered him a job, an assistant professional. And he worked there throughout the summer. And I was also carrying our first child. So it was a good combination of a break for him along with being home with me.
And he found that an assistant golf pro doesn't make as much as one of the greatest bowlers in the world. He probably took a $200,000 cut.
There he is, demonstrative Leslie's husband, John. Okay, we're in Peoria, Illinois. True Value Championship overturned. We're here to crown a champion today, but Peoria two champions in another form. Easy, guy.
Introducing a cereal from Kellogg's. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Taste them again for the first time.
You know, I've messed up on a few relationships in my life, but there's one that's lasted over 35 years with a lot of help from Quaker State. It's tough on wear, tough on sludge. So Quaker State and I are planning on a meaningful relationship with my new car. So why don't you do the same with your new car's engine, and Quaker State will guarantee it for 250,000 miles or 10 years in writing. You think if I gave Lonnie the Quaker State deal, she'd give me the same guarantee? Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
Let's replay reaction.
This is a key shot for Mazza. He catches the wall shot at barely flips out the 10-pin.
That was the end of a 3-bagger. Okay.
And gave him 11-pin lead. Norm Duke has to respond.
What do we do here, Nelson?
Very simply, Chris, you have to move to the right part of the approach and get the ball to the left of the 4-pin and drive that 4 into the 9. Right here, drive the 4 into the 9. Very makeable for Norm Duke. Let's say the odds are 2-1, and he needs it at this point.
All right, twice Open champion, twice Firestone champion. I'm speaking of Marshall Holman. Here he is.
Thank you, Chris. We're here with Ron Williams. Ron, you're getting ready to bowl your 4th King of the Hill match. We've got a deeper shot this week. What do you think your chances are?
Well, I like playing inside Marshall, and I've had fairly good success from playing inside. I've made a few shows here and there, and I'm looking forward today and going on to St. Louis.
All right, back up to you guys.
All right. Confidence galore.
Give me my rack.
What's the back on a re-rack? I don't blame him.
I turned over to National Tournament Director Johnny Campos as you see Norm Duke coming up here, and this is from that deep inside line, ball down the center of the line, and asked if he had given him his re-rack. He thought the 1-3 pocket was tight, and he got a re-rack, and normally you carry the 10 when you get the re-rack, but it didn't happen.
And watching on, Kevin Shippey and Frank Esposito. Norm's a tough competitor, but he's known to be loose at times. Here's John Mazza. He's our tournament leader, and he leads by 24.
Unusual leave of the 7-pin there. He had a solid 7 in the first frame, but he comes in very light, and normally the 4 will take out the 7, but the extreme amount of break he's getting on that ball on the first shot caused the 4 to go around the 7.
Well, let's meet John and Leslie's son, Anthony. 14 weeks old. Proud papa.
No pressure there, huh, Chris?
No.
Behooved John Mazza to keep striking here. He's got educations in front of him, and $42,000 at first place right here would be a nice endowment for a few years down the line. He has a 23-pin lead, 6-frame title match. True Value Open.
Another 10-pin.
Mazza's left the 7-pin in 3 different ways. A solid 7 in the first, the wall shot, a little bit unusual 7 in the 5th, and here he leaves the half 7 in the 6th. He changes balls, puts only 1 finger in the ball and his thumb, and uses a very straight ball that won't hook, right at the 7. Good technique.
And the brightest ball on tour, I believe. Neon orange. John Mazza. Here's Norm Duke now.
Got to put his strike shoes back on. Trails by 22, 6-frame.
There's the start as King of the Hill, Ron Williams, just sort of relaxes off to the right and watches these two perform now. 42,000 the winner of this game, 22 to the runner-up. So the winner goes on to meet the King of the Hill. If he can unseat him, dethrone him, it's another $5,000.
42 games of qualifying. Jeff Stayrook led the 18 game of regular play, and then 24 additional games to give you 42. Mazza took over on Friday.
All right. Big double for Norm Duke. Only 12 pins separating these two champions.
Hot coffee and steak in front of strangers at 30,000 feet? Not till I switched. Now I fix it and forget it.
That's good. When people are watching you this closely, you just can't be worried about your dentures. That's why I Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Fix-A-Dent holds stronger than any other adhesive. It even stands up to the hottest liquids.
Sister, Grandpa.
He never would have tried this with his old adhesive.
For the strongest hold you can get, Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime. For relief without alcohol, hit the box, not the bottle.
Athlete's Foot. Every year, over 28 million Americans get it. Try NP27. Its doctor-recommended ingredient stops burning and itching fast. NP27. Nothing's a better cure for Athlete's Foot.
Bowling's big names are out to take aim at their Hall of Fame in a really big game. I'm not to blame that this rhyme is so lame, but if you don't tune in, then shame, 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 shame.
Join us for that Hall of Fame championship, and tickets are still available for the Salute to Champions Black Tie Dinner in St. Louis, Saturday night. John Mazza. Seventh frame.
Holy guacamole. Mazza gets a great break. Watch the head pin. It does the work. He trips the 3. Head pin to the sideboard, gets lost back in the 6-pin zone, rolls around, takes out the 3-pin. What a terrific break in the 7th frame. Mazza quickly up, and he just absolutely has to reset himself. The ball didn't feel comfortable. He starts fairly close to the line, and he goes very quickly. Boom, boom.
So it pays to do that for all you league bowlers. And by the way, speaking of league bowlers, the second oldest league bowler in America today is celebrating his 99th birthday. Ted Gross of Staten, Oregon. Wish you many, many more, sir. Good bowling.
Duke disappointed 2 times. He left the half 10-pin in the 3rd frame, once again here in the 8th frame, and those are big, big shots for him because he follows 23 pins behind now with just 2 frames remaining. Considering that he converts the 10, one of the best spare shooters in the game. Nice straight shot, and leaves himself still in position.
Incidentally, if you're wondering where Staten, Oregon ends, Marshall Holman from Medford, Oregon, told me it's near Salem. Okay?
A self-psyching young man, very emotional. His win in Florida 2 years ago at Winter Haven, just cried like a little baby after he had won. But it's not over yet. He's got a tough opponent right here. Is all in John Mazza's hands right now. He can shut out Norm Duke if he just has 2 strong frames.
There's one. He needs 9 pins in the first ball to guarantee a tie, a strike, or a spare. He locks up his 4th title, requalifies for the Firestone, and the reason he has to requalify is he only bowled 3 tournaments has only 3 wins, and he wasn't a touring player last year. You think he's glad to be back? Now, Leslie won't be the only one in tears, believe me. Well, Anthony.
See the tears starting to come, Chris. This is an emotional couple.
Watch John. Watch John. He'll have them. Why not?
I agree. Michael, those new young daddies are tough to beat.
I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that.
You put the determination, the talent of a Mazza, and put a new baby in his arms, and look out.
258. That's $1 million kiss.
A black dress and everything. The little house. There's our son right there.
You bet.
It's meant to be. Thanks.
Goodness. That's Lorenda Benoit, Bob Benoit's wife, that's holding Anthony.
And emotional Mazza, is this swing the favor back to the Ron Williams, who's waiting just to the right? I'm watching him right now. He's eyeballing John Mazza for that King of the Hill match. Norm Duke could be in the 220s, both sensational.
Remember, Norm Duke had a 238 in defeating Tony Westlake, who shot 216. Tony Westlake had a 257 to Mike Aulby's 253 in the first game.
Players are averaging 246 going into this game, and they're going to be right at 240 again this game. So, big scoring. 244 average so far.
All right. 258 to 225. ABC Sports presentation of Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
45, even 45 cents, even 46 per pound, $4,700 home, $47.5.
What'll it be, fellas?
Make it a Bud Light.
Sorry. This is the last one.
Well, I think I'll take that one.
What do you want to give for it? I'm a 2 and a 10, give me 10, a 20 bid, give me 20 now, 30, give me 30 now, 40 bid, give me 40 now, 50, give me 50 now, 60 bid, give me 60 now, 70, give me 70 now, 80.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Sorry, boys. This is the last one.
Hey, Willard Scott here at True Value with my friend Pat Summerall.
And we're asking shoppers what they like best about True Value. Is it personal service?
Or low prices.
You can always count on a good buy when you come in True Value. Personal service here.
It's quick and easy access. You're not tied up all day just to do quick shopping.
For personal service
and low prices, bring your family to ours.
The True Value family of stores.
Would you shop here the rest of your life?
Oh, yes.
Only 4 days until the King of Pop talks to Oprah live.
This week, America's New Country video lineup includes songs by Clint Black, Billy Dean, Laurie Morgan, and Pam Tillis, plus the ANC debut video from Alan Jackson, and an exclusive video from Mark Chestnut that you'll see only here on America's New Country. And we'll go back country for get-togethers with Mark, Susie Bogus, and Kathy Mattea.
America's New Country, tonight at 7 on WHTM.
You're about to see the power of subliminal advertising. Now, can you name bowling's hookingest and bashingest ball? It's the Rhino Pro line in several distinctive urethane formulations to improve any game. Catch the Rhino Pro at one of these official Rhino Pro shops.
Carl Ravitch has the scores and more on 27 News.
Thank you.
Welcome to New York. We'll get you back to bowling in just a moment. We're here at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn, New York, one of the most famous gyms in all of the world of boxing. And a very big day of boxing here on ABC's Wide World of Sports, including live from San Diego, Oscar De La Hoya will face Curtis Strong in his 4th professional appearance. Also from Madison Square Garden tonight, Riddick Bowe with his first title defense. We had a conversation. And from Japan, the World Alpine Ski Championship. Gilbert Gottfried will also join us with some of the greatest calls and falls from the world of skiing. It's all coming up at 4:30 Eastern Time on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Right now, back to the bowling and Chris Schenkel.
True Value Open Championship has been a thriller with high scores. Westlake 257 to Aulby's 253, 18 total strikes. Norm Duke moves in and defeats Westlake 258-216. John Mazza, back on the tour as a tournament leader, then eliminates Duke 258 to 225, 42,000 for the winner, John Mazza. $22,000 for Norm Duke, the runner-up. Westlake, $13,000, and Mike Aulby, $10,000. So, with the True Value champion determined, Bo, and ladies and gentlemen, we go to the King of the Hill. And for the fourth time, Ron Williams, Bo,
you're right,
is
Chris.
our man.
Well, last week he was just awesome as he just marched through Hoskins. He got an early 50-pin lead, and he's done that on every single opponent. He's jumped out very quickly. Let's see what happens with Mazza trying to unrail him as the King of the Hill.
Handshake, and then Bonnie. There it is.
All right.
Bonnie's at home, and Ron's here with his mom.
Well, this is the real big match for Ron. He won the 3 in a row. He got the bonus last week. If he wins one more week, he goes for a $20,000 bonus next week. So Williams, who really is tough, but he has his hands full with Mazza. There he is, right there. That's how he's gotten there. Has defeated 3 opponents.
236 average, and he's earned an extra $25,000. If he can get through today, he get 5. If Mazza defeats him, that'll be 5 for him. But then next week, Nelson, for Ron Williams, if he remains King of the Hill, a lot of money.
You bet, Chris. I'm just going to throw out one number. On this championship pair this week, Mazza has averaged a fabulous 265 for 4 games. Ron Williams only 202.
Boy, he still has the intensity and the groove. Remember, he shot a 258 to win the True Value title.
Well, the talk around the tour has been how to get to Williams, and everybody realizes that there's been a letdown, and Ron's murdered him in the first 4 frames. Let's see if Mazza can learn a lesson.
Cahokia, Illinois' Ron Williams, now out of Fort Worth.
Familiar style, has that push away straight out. Now he's going to wrap that ball back inside. He's a little stiff-legged, but once again gets a solid pivot step, lofts the ball well out over the line, and he is so confident. 5 weeks in a row, he has bowled the last game on ABC television.
There's a lot at stake. If he can win today, possibility of $20,000 extra, Bo, next week, plus the 5.
Ooh, well, if you add it all up, and who knows, 15 straight weeks, he wins $255,000, but a long way off. He's got a tough opponent right here in John Mazza.
Leaving a 7-pin.
And that's a shot that Mazza had twice in the first match that he just won with 258. That's the only pin he left. 3 7-pins. Converted them all with a very simple straight shot. And he is not out of this match by any means. Yeah, Mazza's saying, he says, I didn't want that $200,000 anyway. He was thinking big. True Value has a $200,000 bonus for a perfect game in today's championship matches, and he takes himself out with a 7-pin. However, Ron Williams is still alive.
John may be getting too loose. That 42 grand, listen, that 42,000 means so much to he and his young wife and their young son.
Position of Mazza coming right into your home television. Over the 4th arrow. Real relaxed shot, leaves a solid 9. He'll play the hook ball with this spear on the right-hand side.
Mike Connor, Ed Wallach, Bill Becker. My cousins Mike and Linda Schenkel here watching.
And enjoying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not their first time. Williams perfect through 2, 11-pin lead.
I hit 3, 6, 10.
Oh, doing slow like I ran out and caught it.
And his mother, Josephine, here today and from Cahokia, Illinois.
Just across the river from St. Louis, where we'll be next week. Ron Williams leaves the 3, 6, 10. That was just a bad shot. It slipped off his hand.
Come up. Ron Williams, going for King of the Hill victory number 4, says today is not the end of the line.
No, I've had some time to sit back and the last day and a half and look back at how I did in the tournament, and
I've made some adjustments with drilling some new equipment, and I do like playing inside. And it's just didn't have the right equipment, I think, this week, and I think I've figured it out, and we're going to see if we can go for 5 in a row next week.
A 4.
And the changes Williams has made is he finished second to Mike Miller in Wichita last year on the summer tour on ABC TV, as you see Williams going high and leaving the 4-pin. And so he went back with a ball with more weight to the outside instead of to the inside. In other words, the ball is held back from the pocket a little bit and rolls a little earlier. Let's see how he does.
This is the King of the Hill match as John Mazza won the True Value. Now, friends, if you're looking for a truck, a really big truck in Peoria, here's a place to start.
Careful, Chuck. You're going to wear it.
She's an 83 with over 140,000 on-road and off-road miles. I must be in and out of it 150 times a day. It's a wonder the doors don't fall off. Only trouble was when the pig charge caved in my door. I only used AC Delco. Cheaper parts can cost you a powerful lot. Of course, so can pigs.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
Dry skin, itch. What can stop it fast?
Lightning fast Lamicaine starts working in a flash, works on contact with the itch nerves that cause every itch. These can't.
The itch is gone.
Lightning fast Lamicaine.
When the camera starts to roll, even one flake of dandruff can ruin it all. That's why I use Head & Shoulders. It's even better than it was just a couple of years ago. Today, it gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts. Because great hair can't have flakes.
The high-flying Kansas Jayhawks battle Big 8 rival Nebraska in the Pac-10 Cal meets Arizona or other regional matchups Sunday on ABC Sports.
Here at the True Value Open and the King of the Hill match, Mike Connor, the commish, Professional Bowlers Association, and one of the members.
Mazza with 9,000 in earnings, and his comeback this year going into this tournament is 51,000 in his pocket now.
Trying to take away the crown of Ron Williams.
And this is a little different look than we've had in the other King of the Hill matches. When he bowled Parker Bone in Phoenix, Williams got off to a quick lead. Aulby was out of the match in 4 or 5 frames in Las Vegas, and last week Hoskins was terribly behind after 5 frames. Mazza has hung in there. This is the first real challenge for Williams.
John Mazza doubling. Here's Ron Williams spare up shooting in the 5th frame. Those are the type strikes we've been accustomed to in the past few weeks.
You bet. And the big change that Williams has made when we talked about the ball weight, Ron from the deep inside line got tricked into trying to play the big hook ball earlier in the week and struggled to 202 average. He has gotten much smarter as you look at his grip. Index fingers out to the right, pinky tucked, and he's not trying to play the big hook. He's playing a whole pocket shot.
Yeah, and a 4.
Huh. Well, that didn't work.
Well, he said that didn't work. His mother, Josephine, looks on. What he was trying to do is get the ball to set up, hold pocket, as we say. The ball had a little too much finish. 2 went around the 4, and now Williams is going to be tested.
Okay. Meanwhile, Bonnie, Scott, and Sean are watching in Fort Worth. A lot of fans watching John Mazza back in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Seven pin. Double working.
Leslie, wife of John Mazza, Josephine, mother of Ron Williams, looking on as one of their favorite bowlers will win this match.
Archery. And it's close. 2 pins.
Talk about a bowling ball. There's really three forces that have effect on a bowling ball. Number one, the weight. Number two, its construction, say it'd be rubber, urethane, or whatnot, as you see Mazza's grip. And finally, the distribution of weight within that ball, which is the least amount of the forces affecting a bowling ball.
John using two balls, neon orange and a black, early Halloween.
Then you put it in the hands of an artist, such as these two players, and you get great results. Right now, the king is trailing by 2.
Carry ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Work on that one, baby. All right, come on.
Added to those three elements, you put lift with the wrist, and you see the pins talk. You watch him just saw this 5-pin out. He likes the reaction. Ron Williams, that familiar style, somewhere around the center. He's going to drift slightly left, and he'll be right between the 3rd and 4th arrows. He can retake the lead with a strike, 8th frame.
Carry.
Think back. That may be the one.
Likes the reaction. Big power ball, extra loft. Then he puts it in Mazza's face a little bit.
Look at that Mazza come back. He won the True Value Open, 258 to Norm Duke's 225, earning $42,000.
You know what just happened, Chris, and I've been in the bowling center all my life. I think John Mazza's ball just jumped off the underground rack. We're going to have a delay here. I heard it as it came down. These balls go underground approximately 35 miles an hour. It jumped the rack. And so the underground, they're going to roll an extra ball down there and try to force this ball forward. Now, if it's on the railing, it'll come back and they'll get the ball. I saw one time in Buffalo, New York, 1966, a player have his ball jump off the rack and get lost underneath the lanes, Chris. And I don't know if that has happened here or not. They're still looking for a ball.
Okay.
All right, he's still got a ball to play with, so it's not lost, and he has put himself in position where he leads by 2 pins, 9th frame, King of the Hill match.
I can see Nelson Burton Sr. saying, I taught my son well, didn't I? Back in St. Louis, the mighty legend, Bo's dead.
I thank you, Chris, and I'm sure my dad was watching, and he'll say that John Mazza was hurt by that delay and went a little too quickly. He has the 3-9-10, an easy split for a left-hander. A left-hander will get over in this zone, try to drive all the pins back into the 9-10 zone. Even if he makes it, he trails by 1 to the king, Ron Williams.
Big shot here, how true. Was it big?
Chris, he couldn't have walked down there 60 feet to the head pin and placed the ball by hand in a more perfect position. Now, as his nickname is known as the juggler, he usually goes right for the throat. Mazza's trying to just keep decoy himself. Right now, Ron Williams can lock it up with a strike. Anything less, we can have a tie, or Mazza can still win. Quickly, the solid 10. He is a potential 225. Mazza, a potential 225. He says, Mazza knows the score. I don't know what he's doing over there talking along, but here's the situation. Spare strike by Williams, 225. 3 strikes by Mazza, 225. Sudden death, 2-frame roll-off for King of the Hill. Let's see what happens.
Come on, get them all.
Ron Williams is psyching himself up through a great shot in the 10th, left the solid 10. A strike here will be 225. That would force this man to get all 3 strikes to tie.
The ball. All right, yeah. 225 for the King of the Hill.
Thanks.
John Mazza, True Value Champion, Open 1993, needs them all to tie and set up a roll-off.
Two more. A True Value Champion.
Sign language by Mazza tells the story. 1 down, 2 more to go.
That's for a tie.
Much more at stake for Ron Williams than there is for John Mazza. John Mazza wins $5,000, Williams $5,000. However, next week, if Williams could win, it would be an additional $20,000. However, 1 more ball to determine win, lose, or tie.
This is the King of the Hill head-to-head match. All tied at 225. 2-frame roll-off. They stand and cheer here at Landmark. Wonderful. They deserve it. True Value Champion is John Mazza. The King of the Hill is Ron Williams. 2-frame roll-off, Nelson.
Here's what happens. Ron Williams will bowl 1 frame and sit down. Then Mazza will get up and bowl what is the equivalent of the 9th and 10th frames, all to determine the new king.
Ring 10 again.
Okay, that was a shot. If he had carried it in the 10th frame, he'd have locked it up and off to, and for a tough start right here. Don't miss the spare, Ron.
All right. This is a 2-frame roll-off. 225 tie in the King of the Hill match. If you just joined us, this man, John Mazza, won the True Value Open.
He once again holds up those fingers. 3 straight strikes. 1 on the first extra frame and 2 now in the what we call the last or almost the 10th frame of a match would lock it up. Okay, the 7-pin. Let's put the spare in Mazza's pocket, finish him with a strike. That would give him 40. That sets up a possibility of another tie or a win for Williams. Let's see what happens. We'll do it again if they tie again.
Pressure.
Boy, Mazza's had some pressure shots in the last 4 frames. He struck out to force this roll-off. He has struck on the first ball, 7-pin in the first shot of the 2nd frame of the roll-off. This is a big strike here. If he strikes here, he forces Ron Williams to at least strike on the first ball. An opening for Williams. Now, Ron Williams has this situation. He needs to fill 20 pins here to lock it up. If he strikes spares, he wins. If he's 9 spare strikes, we'll have a tie again at 39. This is the big shot.
Yes, baby. His mom is applauding.
Come on.
Why not?
Boy, the aggressiveness of Williams. He likes this King of the Hill, and he doesn't want to give it up. It's 1 spare away or 1 strike away from going to 4 straight victories. Wife of Mazza on the left, Josephine on the right. Ron Williams needs spare a strike right here.
Hello, the King of the Hill. 4 wins and the King and the True Value Open champion.
He doesn't have to throw any more balls, Chris. He automatically wins. It's 40-39, the winner.
Okay, we'll be back. Exciting landmark. Peoria, True Value Open, and the King of the Hill remains Ron Williams.
Hey, Pat.
Willard.
What are you doing here?
Shopping.
Yeah, me too. Can't resist True Value's great prices, huh?
Well, you know, it's a personal service I like. You just can't get that at those big chain stores.
Yeah, and with 7,000 stores buying together, they sure have some great prices.
You already said that.
Yeah, but it's true, Pat. These are great prices.
With great service.
And great people.
Like a family.
Does this mean we're brothers?
Well, let's say cousins.
Cousins?
Twice removed.
I just love raisins in cereal.
I'm afraid you don't.
If I say I like raisins, I do.
No, I really don't think so.
Yeah, well, what do you call this, pal?
Not this.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran?
Hey, if you really loved raisins, you'd be eating Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
So, you really think you got something here, eh, buddy?
2 scoops of our sweetest, plumpest, juiciest raisins.
What was I thinking?
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. If you love raisins, this is your cereal.
No, there's 2 scoops, eh, Duke?
What a day. I'd been in the hospital for tests since 9 a.m. It felt like my doctor ordered every one in the book. But the worst part was the waiting. It's no wonder I got a pounding headache. So I asked my doctor for something. With all the pain relievers they have, they use what I use, Tylenol. The test turned out okay. Tylenol helped me through the day.
Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
There's the money in the True Value. The man that has been winning the money a lot here. Can you say anything?
I'd like to thank True Value for hosting this tournament. It's been a great event, and I hope next week I can defend the King of the Hill. I can't even talk.
King of the Hill. Oh, True Value Open champion, John Mazza.
Absolutely. I'd also like to second that. True Value's been great to the PBA and the tour. It's great. We love it.
Okay, we have Ray Becker here. We have Jerry Thompson, Gary Coppinger. The last 2 from True Value, the proprietor here. 42,000 smackers. And 5 for this man. See you next week, St. Louis. Thank you.
The Professional Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And by the makers of Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports will showcase one of boxing's brightest young stars. Olympic gold medalist Oscar De La Hoya fights live. Plus, coverage of the World Alpine Skiing Championships begins, along with a dramatic look at skiing's most memorable calls and falls. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the